Is absolutely true. It's like I said, it's on Facebook Live now, X Live, also YouTube, wherever, and it's going to be like that on Wednesday when we've got the John Moss Decision Day show at 4
Looking
o'clock.
forward to it, man. Yeah, looking forward to see where Jay Moss makes a decision and bring as much attention to that announcement as we possibly can. You mentioned on Friday it's Mr. Basketball candidate this year, so looking forward to it, man. I've been seeing that kid put shots up since he was old enough to walk, so. It's going to be fun to see which college he picks and where he decides to continue his next chapter.
Yeah, Ball State, Evansville, Chattanooga, and Eastern.
Yeah, they still got put the full court. You got a couple days to get that full court press NIL money. Right?
Speaking of that, a big thanks to Vass Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, who's come on board to sponsor the John Moss Decision Show. So there you go.
They're looking forward.
Maybe we'll have a Vass. Maybe we'll just choose to go to Vass.
Maybe. Man, we're going to get him in college, and then you'll see where we'll go from there. But looking forward to that on Wednesday. It'll be at 4 o'clock, right?
Yes, 4 o'clock.
To live at 5.
Yeah, 4 o'clock. It'll be a standalone show. It will not be on the radio. It will just be on live stream, and then we'll stay at Davis County, and we'll do live at 5 from right there.
Sounds good, man. Looking very forward to that. We'll also have the Jason Morris Coaches Show on Wednesday night, along with the DeMarcus Ganaway Show on Thursday night.
And it's the two biggest shows because it's rivalry week.
Rivalry week this week, right? And looking forward to both of those shows. I talked to Dan yesterday at church, and he said, I'll be sitting in the back corner back there at Old Hickory on Thursday.
I'm sure he will. He's looking for
taking some notes.
Yeah, he's taking notes and see if he can get like a good clip to play during his show or something.
Yeah, kind of set up well. Well, it's the fastest hour in football. So
I'm looking forward to it.
Get rolling. Got the first half of the show is going to be all high school, and then the back half we'll have college, and then wrap it up with our week 1 overreactions and takes to the NFL. But man, got to kick it off with the game we were both at on Friday night. It was Owensboro Catholic hosting Apollo, home opener for the Aces, and maybe a little bit better game than some people had bargained for.
Well, listen, a couple of things is, one, the crowds for the city county games have been tremendous, and that was a tremendous crowd at Steel Stadium. Number two, we talked about Apollo being a team that we felt like, was a good football team. Now, I will say when you go there and you feel you run, you see Max in the walking boot, you're thinking, oh, here we go. But we said in the broadcast that Apollo has maybe the best backup quarterback in the ESPN Owensboro area, and JT could probably start for 40 over half the teams in the area, if not 75% of the teams. And I thought he played great. I thought Catholic made a couple mistakes. It looked like Catholic was going to run away with it at 14-0. And then you give up the long pass for a touchdown, and then you throw a batted ball pick that they go in and score again. And, I thought it was a well-played game. I don't think necessarily Catholic played terrible. I just think Apollo played well. Now, the one thing about Apollo is we got to figure out a way to stop the run, because if you look at the 3 games, Murray went for 245 against them. Heritage Hills went for somewhere around 250, over a little more than 250, because Winchell had 175 and Goldsberry had like 85. And then Catholic goes for 301. So, that's a major problem right now for Apollo.
Yeah, got to find a way to solve that. I think it really starts for them having to figure that out this week, because you got a Hancock County team that you're facing that likes to run the football. And they've run it really well through their first 3 games. So I expect they'll be tested in that area again. I did think Apollo made some nice adjustments to the run game late in the ball game, but it was you were already behind the 8 ball at that point. And so we'll see if they can, remedy that as the week goes along. I don't know how long Max will be out. Prayers for a speedy recovery for him. I think it was a turf toe injury that he sustained over at Heritage Hills. But
I think it was before that, because I think he was a little limited at Heritage Hills and it's progressively gotten worse.
Yeah, so maybe gives him maybe they want to give him a couple weeks off heading into district season. But I think that was the Apollo team that we thought we would see coming into the season that showed up at Steel. I think the 2 guys on the outside, Badger and Tutt, all night long, I thought gave a lot of trouble. Bratcher had a pretty nice game as well. Offensively, that was probably as good as you could expect him to look with JT out there, who was making throws on dead sprint runs, because I bet he was seeing Caden Conkright in his nightmares.
Yeah,
Conkright was chasing him all over.
I will say that I thought in the first quarter, Evans, Conkright, Sims, that they dominated the game. Like he was running for his life from then on. I do think there were some adjustments made on the offensive line and later in the game. Now there were times where they got pressure on him, but it wasn't as often as they did early in the game.
Yeah, the offensive line stepped up, and we've been saying we needed Apollo to respond to some adversity. You go down 14-0, it kind of feels like the wheels are kind of coming off a little, and you come back and make it a close game. So I think it's a passing effort this week from the Apollo Eagles. And on the other side, for Owensboro Catholic, you got to be saying, hey, we won the game. We'll talk about us a little bit,
well,
right?
It's crazy. They won the game, and they dropped like 15 spots in the KSR poll. I don't – it's like they get hurt more for winning a game that's a rivalry game close than some schools got hurt for losing the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's the golden triangle for you. A lot of those voters aren't anywhere near the western part of the state, and what they need to understand is Miles Edge is just a dude. He's over 200 yards rushing this week. It's really what you need him to do. I thought Apollo did a good job of maybe taking away the swing pass to him, but
him and Jude both. I think that was something that they went in saying, we are going to force him to. We're taking the the swing pass and out of the backfield and check downs completely away, and they did.
Yeah, no, I thought they defended it well, but Miles and Jude still made him pay on the ground. He had Miles over 200 yards, Jude over 70 yards.
It was right at 80, I think, by the official stats.
Yeah, so good game on the ground from both of them. And then the passing game for Catholic, though, there's still some questions around it. They weren't particularly sharp against Davis County, but that was more because of drop balls. Whereas Friday night, I don't know. Apollo's got a really good secondary as well. So, I mean, I think you got to credit them for some of that. But it was just something just felt a little off kilter in the pass game.
As I was watching it, I thought early in the game, Dramel looked really good. I loved the way he was climbing the pocket, sliding in the pocket. And now Dramel. Now, late or somewhere right before halftime, there was a play where he went down and he came up limping. And then that's when he had the big where he took the big, where there was the play where he took the big intentional grounding that took him out of basically scoring range. And I thought there was a situation where he went through his progressions. There was a hole he could run through, but he didn't take it. And he's been doing that for the last couple of games. And I wonder if the ankle bothered him a little bit because he didn't move as well. But I credit some of that Apollo defense, too,
absolutely.
for Dramel.
100%. And then you got Luke Thomas.
Dramel, sorry.
Who's right on the verge of having a coming out party.
I think he's the guy. You got Maddox, but if they can get Thomas going, and he had 6 catches for like 80 yards and a touchdown, I think they get him going. He's going to make that offense be really good.
No doubt. No, and I thought their defense played well for the most part. The secondary had some maybe breakdowns, especially on the scramble drills. But I think it was good for Catholic to kind of get that. Not only that, but see some adversity, see how they respond to it. And I think it's good for them to build off that, especially going into this week, because I think you're going to see a lot of the same stuff offensively with maybe even just as explosive weapons on the outside when you talk about the Owensboro Red Devils coming off a 40-0 win over Davis County. They desperately needed to get off the schneid a little bit there, and they certainly did. DeMark Jr., I said he would have a coming-out party on Live at 5. He went 7 of 10, 136 yards and 3 touchdowns, 2 of those to Kingston Dillard, who was 110 yards, 2 scores.
He had 1 called back, too.
Yeah, and then T. Green off the bench. How about T. Green? Evan got a little banged up. T. Green comes in, has a rushing touchdown, catches 1 as well, and just shows the depth there that you really have on the Owensboro, rushing attack, and really on the bench. There was a skill position players. They're all pretty deep at. But, man, this is – I think looking at it, not really super strong up front. This could be a situation where a Catholic kind of sees very similar action to what the Owensboro is going to give them on Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, if I know we'll break this down as the week goes on all week long, but if you're going to look at, right up at the top, you have to have the matchup of the Owensboro offensive line against that front 7 of Owensboro Catholic. And to me, that's where this game will be won and lost. If Owensboro can get it to, close to a draw, on the outside, and I love Cecil and Whitledge, but you're going to be going against Morris and Dillard, who are big time playmakers. If they have time to throw the football down the field, I think Owensboro has a little bit of an advantage there.
I don't even know if you try. I mean, I feel like getting on the edge is the key for me. I mean, I want to say right now, I don't think Owensboro can block them straight up. I don't think you're going to see DeMarc Jr. stand in the pocket and just pick Catholic apart. I
Well,
think
you gotta-
you'll see him outside the pocket.
Well, that may, but even
creating
then,
plays out
even
there.
then, with those defensive ends who can run, and then you still got to give him. You can roll him out all you want, but if you're not blocking, and you can roll out all you want, but if you're not going to at least hold up Barrett Evans, he's going to chase you down, or Reese Sims, or Caden Conkright.
I expect Barrett and Conkright to run about 20 miles on Friday night because they're going to be chasing DeMarc, and he's super athletic. He can hurt you with his feet, and he can hurt you on the run. I mean, I saw it in the scrimmage games. He did a little bit of that on Friday night, and so I'm looking forward to seeing him take that challenge that is the Catholic defense. I have no idea what that says.
Hit the button up there. There you go.
There you go. Fair enough. And, DeMarc Jr., I thought, had a great game.
He did.
Defensively, they pitch a shutout. They create 3 turnovers in the game. And, it'll be interesting to see that Owensboro defense taking on Miles Edge, who has not been able to be really haven't really been able to be contained as of yet. I believe he's sitting at about like 6 yards a carry on the season so far. So
yeah, he wasn't until you get those last 2 runs where they're trying to get the first down, and Griffith made an open field tackle and sold to Milburn.
Yeah.
Those are the first 2 guys to get to him first, and bring him down. And so
it's amazing what that late game adrenaline can do.
Yeah, Brady Griffith made a great open field tackle, and then Milburn did too. And Milburn, I mean, heads up to Milburn because he took an absolute shot like 3 minutes into the game. I thought he was dead.
He did. I know the way Barrett reacted. I was a little worried.
Like
myself.
I thought he busted his chin open. Is what it was my first thought. But then came in and played really well defensively and offensively. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be. I think this is just such an interesting matchup, and you got the whole dynamic of Calicut going for 4 in a row, and get a senior class to go through there who's never lost Owensboro.
Well, that and you always want to, if you can handle this, test, if you're the Aces, I mean, you're going to be favored in every single game you have left. So. To me,
it'd be right there to number 1 in the RPI.
Yeah, you will be number 1. I mean, I don't know how you wouldn't be.
Beechwood possibly, if they could beat Covcath and the teams that they play, they would be close.
It may be, but I mean, at least you stay away from it all the way up to the Final Four.
Yes,
you always want to pave that RPI path, and this will be vital, I think, for Owensboro Catholic. I think the game's almost bigger for the Aces than it is for the Red Devils.
Yeah, because the big thing is, like you're talking about, even if Beechwood's up, even if you're not 1, you're 1 or 2, which means you're playing at Steele all the way to Kroger Field.
Yeah, and a little bit more selective opponent. So looking forward to this game, man. It's going to be a great week.
It is.
I've got to call some bangers out of the gate. The Bowling Green game, the Apollo game was tremendous, and looking very forward to Rash Stadium on Friday night.
And just production note for everybody out there will not be a game on 102.7. Catholic and Owensboro. Listen, it's the biggest game. We always have it on 2 stations. We're going to have you guys, the 3 Stooges, over on K News. You'll get the Catholic perspective. And it'll also be on WVJS with Dan Bartlett, David Howard for the Owensboro perspective. So both of them will be there, and then I'll just be watching.
Yeah.
I get to watch this game for the first time in a while.
Settle in, because you'll be hosting the Coach Morris show the following week because I'm out of town on one of my final work trips of the season. But before we get to break and continue our high school football breakdown, I want to get to our Canty Dairy Queen Player of the Week. We missed it on Friday.
Last week, sorry about that.
Circle back and hit up Avery Gray from the Apollo Egals volleyball team as our Canty Dairy Queen overall Player of the Week this past week. Big congratulations to Avery.
Huge congratulations. She had a big tournament, in that, and she's been dominant. She's been absolutely dominant and well deserving.
Apollo off to a great start there on the volleyball side. We'll pause it for Karen Gross, realtor with Remax Professional Realty Group. Your dream is her mission. Give her a call at 270-315-9810 or find her at KarenGross.net. Listen to Live at 5, 1027 The Game.
It's game on every weekday from 5 to 8 in the morning with Unsportsmanlike. Brought to you by
constantly setting the standard for
Evan, Canty, and Michelle.
Our
breaking down
attorneys
the
are
biggest
passionate,
stories, the boldest takes, and the realest
prepared, and
reactions.
persistent.
Only on 1027
Our proven
The
results
Game.
in
Your
cases
home
aren't
for
by
ESPN
chance.
Radio.
They are
Unsportsmanlike
result
delivers the passion
constant
every true
pursuit
sports fan
of
craves.
truth
Brought
and
to you
justice.
by Floor Concept.
That is
where
our
design
promise
meets
to you.
durability.
Form
It's
and dedicated to
Unsportsmanlike
you.
Weekday mornings,
F.com.
5 to 8, only on 1027 The Game.
Sports Country is celebrating
This fall,
10
years.
In the
At
last
Best,
10 years,
Chrysler,
we've seen the
Dodge,
rise
Jeep,
of
Ram,
social
power
media.
means
Pandemic,
unbeatable
and in sports,
savings.
We saw the rise of new rivalries.
No, wait. Right now, get 3.9% financing for 72 months and 15% off MSRP on select new Ram models.
Strength, speed, or family power, we've got your ride this season of adventure.
The Drive in the Fall sales event only at Bass Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Your deal, your ride. Don't miss it. Enjoy the ride.
on Facebook for events and specials.
Looking for a financial partner you can trust? Look no further than Green River Area Federal Credit Union. Whether you're saving for the future, buying a new home, or need a loan, we've got you covered with competitive rates and personalized service. Join the community that cares about your financial well-being. Visit Green River Area Federal Credit Union at one of our 3 locations in Henderson, Greenville, or Owensboro and experience the difference today. Your money, your future, your credit union. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Backed by popular demand, Legendary Pools and Spas by John Morais is here. If John has built your pool or spa in the past and it needs service, repairs, or just a little attention, he's ready to take care of you. He'd love to hear from his former customers, and if you're new, now is the perfect time to see why his work is legendary. Call Legendary Pools and Spas by John Morais at 270-316-1007. Reconnecting with customers, one pool at a time.
Hi, this is Travis Holtree from Foreman Watson Holtree. You know, we will not allow anyone to deter us from what we are committed to. And we're committed to standing up for people and businesses who find themselves needing a voice because of legal issues. Our attorneys have the resolve it takes to stand up when tested without flinching in the face of adversity. We are Foreman Watson Holtree, and we're dedicated to you, committed to justice. FWHlegal.com.
And now, more Live at 5 with Stephen A. Turner and Vic Evans on 102.7 The Game.
Live at 5 brought to you by Foreman Watson Holtree, FWHlegal.com. Stephen A. Turner, Vic Evans here in the Floor Concept Studios. The fastest hour in football continues, and we'll go down to Grayson County where it was a battle of the Cougars on Friday night. And no Caden Hanshaw in this one. But you still got to give McLean County credit. I feel like they controlled the line of scrimmage throughout the ball game, and it was a little bit of a coming out party for Aiden Bolden. Slow start. I mean, as far as statistically goes, kind of playing out of position to be clear, but 178 yards, 4 touchdowns. And McLean County defense limit Grayson to over just under right at 100 total yards.
Yeah, it was dominant up the front line. Now, one Cougar team was playing on 2 legs while the other one had all 4 without Hanshaw. And I think this goes to show us, too, the question we were talking about, what happens when team stocks a box and takes Hanshaw away. You have found it right now. There's no answer right now in Grayson County without him. But the great thing is the front 7 of McLean the last 2 games have been pretty dominant. We're going to find out this week a little even more about them because Hart comes in averaging about 330 yards rushing. Now, not sure where the game's going to be played because Hart thinks it's at Hart and McLean thinks it's at McLean. So I don't know if either team will show up at the right place to play, but we'll find out.
Yeah, no, it should be a great game. Hopefully it's taking place.
They may be playing by themselves.
Man, I don't know what's going to happen there. You go. Somebody's going to have to take a road trip they don't want to take.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it hard, they'll play their first 6 games on the road.
I was about to say, I saw where it said we're home for the first time at Hart. That was the graphic that's going out for this game, and it's if it's not for this one, then they're on a
6-game road trip, and then you finish the last 4 games at home. But I will say, if you go to KHSAA, so both coaches have to put their schedules in before it goes up.
Yeah.
And the KHSAA, both of them have it at McLean. Now, why all of a sudden,
both do.
Yeah. Okay. Now, why all of a sudden, Harsh decided to change it?
It could have been somebody like me doing it.
No.
And just didn't even pay attention.
No, because this came up before.
Oh,
yes, there is
a little bit of a conflict.
Yes, there is a massive conflict going on right now where this game was signed to be played at.
Okay, get the contracts out. Let's see where it's at. I think the good news for the Cougars is they've officially overcome that bad first game.
Well, hold on. You can't say it was bad because the team that beat them sitting there at 3-0.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, listen, it was a bad first game. No disrespect, Muhlenberg. That's a bad first game. That's a game that McLean has dominated.
When somebody says no disrespect, what they did is they disrespected you.
Well, I mean, it's a game that McLean County's won year after year after year.
I know.
But Muhlenberg does continue to win.
Get a late touchdown.
Edmondson. I disrespected you all the way because I picked Edmondson in this game, and you proved otherwise, right? Get a late go-ahead score with 25 seconds left, And now you're sitting at 3-0 on the season for the Muhlenberg County Mustangs. Great start to the season.
Well, I picked this one right. I only missed one game in the Pick'em contest. Brighams 17-0.
Briggs, first undefeated one for us anyway.
Western let me down, but yeah, Muhlenberg, and Edmondson played really well too. They scored late to take the lead, and then Muhlenberg drives down. I think Muhlenberg scored a touchdown with it was like 30 seconds left to win the
25
game.
seconds, as I just said. Yeah,
I didn't hear that part. I was making fun of you.
I'm just kidding.
That's all right. I'd have done the same thing to you.
You absolutely would have. Dalen Hawker, 2 touchdowns. Logan Harris, rushing touchdown as well. Clay Wilkin, continuing to do it through the air.
It's a young
and
star.
On the ground.
A young star. He really is. And I think what you're seeing is the growth of him at quarterback from last year. And Coach Staples talked about this on Media Day where there were times last year, instead of going through progressions, you just pull the ball down and run. And he's learned how to become a quarterback.
No doubt. And that's a tough one. Taking down Edmondson County, knew it was going to be a highly contested game. Hats off to the Wildcats who battled the back. They were down in the game. They came all the way back, took the lead, and then surrendered it with 25 seconds remaining. Muhlenberg getting to 3-0 on the season, as did the Butler County Bears, and they did it in an emphatic fashion, 54-0 over Todd County Central. Wow.
Well, listen, there's a couple things, and we talked about this before. Like, in the next few years, you look at it, every skill position they have right now comes back next year, and they're putting up a ton of points. It's going to be an exciting offense for a few years there. And then, if it wasn't so bad last week that Jalen benches Jacoby Gill,
oh no,
this week he decides to bench
Richardson, did he?
No, he benched Dockery, who threw 4 touchdowns and scored one on the ground, too. So he benched another 40-point performer.
Yeah.
Like, nobody benches 40-point performers like Jalen Daugherty.
He's having some rough coaching decisions there for sure. How about freshman Brody Dockery too? I mean,
that's what I'm talking about.
That's 4 touchdowns, man, just
on the ground,
incredible,
and
right?
through the air and one on the ground.
But I mean, just the fact that he's a freshman stepping in is huge. And then you get Carson Davis and Caden Richardson, 2 touchdown receptions each. Richardson on the ground as well, 167 more yards and a score there. He's been the breakout star.
He has. He was the Kellyanne Harris, Harris stat leader's rushing leader last week. And you go for yeah, he did. Now Miles is jumping up there too. And you go for over 200, you're going to be right there. But yeah, it's been this has been the guy you didn't know the name, at the start of the year that you definitely know now.
Yeah, and Butler County's defense forces 5 turnovers. They're also sitting at 3-0 on the year, just trying to keep that thing rolling down there. And
will be favorites probably this week too.
I would say so. Yeah, looking to get. I think them and Muhlenberg both will have an interesting test this week, and see if they can both keep it rolling. Move it over. We'll do a little bit of a scoreboard action. How about Henderson and Henry Clay right down to the wire? Henderson gets the win there to get their first victory of the season.
Congratulations, Coach Elliott.
No doubt, Coach Elliott gets his first one as a Henderson County Colonel head coach. They win at 19-16. Philip Hawkins, former Apollo coach, now coaching Henry Clay. Got to see some of the highlights of this game on Home Team Friday, and man, it was right down to the wire. So hats off to Henderson for finding a way to win. I think this is a team that's going to be better as the season rolls along.
Yeah, and they found him, I think, a tailback. He had like 175 yards in the game with a touchdown, and it was very dominant.
Yeah, Bullitt Central takes down Breck. It's a tough start for the Fighting Tigers. They're competitive, but just not getting in the win column. 28-15 was the final score there. You had Taylor County taking down Meade 20-0. The defense is game. It's keeping them in there.
It's keeping them in there.
But they just can't find the offense right now.
You're averaging 2 points a game, and it's hard to win that way in football.
Yeah, and it's get the kid eligible.
I know. Right? It's the dumbest thing.
Maybe I don't know all the details. Yeah. I'll give KHSA a break because I don't know the details, but we'll move it on to Hancock County as they took down Ohio County 45-0. Ohio showed some flashes offensively last week, but Ross Powers and the Hancock County defense just shut that down. 17 tackles and forced a couple turnovers. That's kind of been the calling card this season is great defense and then run the football, and they certainly did that. I mean, Eubanks did throw for one to Cooper Jones. He also ran for one, but Caleb Helms also emerging for, him
and Anderson both.
Yeah, absolutely. Anderson's had a good start. He ran for one as well. Helm ran for 139. Yes, a team, you ran it for 333 yards. So, that sets up Hancock County, right, going to be right there near the top of the Owensboro Health Top 10, taking on Apollo next week. And that becomes a very interesting game.
This is my number 2 most interesting game in the ESPN Owensboro area. Of course, Catholic Owensboro 1. This would be 2. Heritage Hills and Southridge 3rd. But I mean, hey, Apollo, you kind of, I think you've played good. Think about it. You're sitting there 0-3, and we haven't, if you look at last week's Owensboro top 10, I don't think the top 2 teams are going to change. You've lost to 1 and 2. And the Murray team you played is 3-0. So you're 0-3. The teams you played are combined 9-0.
Yeah. No.
So, and you were competitive in 2 of them.
And John thought he was going to, Coach S thought he was going to take the schedule back a notch.
Yeah.
It's like, no, not so fast. It's not early.
And you were really competitive in 2 of them.
Yeah.
And so, but I think this Hancock Apollo game, this is a game if this is the Apollo team that's going to kind of turn things around and be really competitive in the district with a chance to really compete in that district. You need to go win a game on the road at Hancock.
Yeah, I think.
But then it's also Hancock could be like, hey, we're for real too. Let's just look out.
No doubt. It's kind of a house money game and an RPI game for them too.
Yes.
If they win, it's an RPI bump for them. So I mean, it's just to me, I love the matchup because Hancock County's ran it extremely well. Apollo has struggled to stop the run. Now, Hancock County has not faced an offense this dynamic, not even close.
No. We're going to find out what kind of pass defense.
Yeah, but your secondary is going to be tested.
But it's also going to be good for them to get this in because you're going to have to play Catholic in your district. So this is the perfect opportunity to work on things.
Great test, for sure. There's a lot of intriguing nuggets coming up in that matchup as we roll through the week. This has been a fun high school season so far. Normally there's like, maybe there's 2 good matchups, real good ones. I feel like we've already got a bunch.
We have. We really have.
I know when we get the district season, it's going to.
But that goes all through the entire state. If you look at the state, weeks 1, 2, 3, and 4, you get some really good state games all through the state. And then your powerhouses get into their district, and it's kind of running clock.
Right, yeah. And so, we've just been blessed with some great games, and I think that's going to continue through week 4. Let's move it over to Indiana real quick, where Tell City moves to 3-0.
How about 3 backs over 100 yards in that game?
Got back to what they do, right? I mean, they wanted to test a pass a week ago. And they're like, you know what? We don't have to put it in the air. Let's just hand it off every single time and beat Pike Central 39-14. Bishop Wilson, big game. Case Bolt, big game.
Case Bolt's right there. I mean, he's putting his name there to be an ESPN Owensboro all-area first-teamer. I mean, he actually wasn't Richardson. He led, I think, in rushing. Richardson was number 2, or they're right there 1-2, but Case Bolt's right there again.
Getting back to the old, let's run the football and play defense.
Get back to the moving company, baby, and they're moving
Not
people.
Not just them, but I'm talking about across the board. These schools like Muhlenberg and Butler and Hancock.
Catholic.
Catholic.
It was like Mojo days. You just had to beat Mojo from the shotgun.
We even saw a jump pass on Friday night, speaking of Mojo. So taking it way back there. But no, congratulations to the marksmen.
If they pull out the Statue of Liberty against Owensboro, then it will be Mojo football.
We'll be looking for that. I might have to ask Coach Morris about that on Wednesday. Let's move it to Perry Central, man. The wheels are off right now for the Commodores as they lose to Crawford County. It's a team they've beat, at least in their last 5 meetings with the 2, by over 50. And they lost it this game 20-6 on Friday night. It's just a rough start.
Hey, they're throwing a party. They're having a party in Crawford. They had lost like 26 games in a row.
They won 2,
and now you've won 2. Put the statue up, babe.
I don't know.
I picked Crawford for the first time ever. Maybe look good.
Do they have a new coach?
I don't know.
Is this his first year? Wouldn't that be something? Year. Okay, he's putting his stamp on it up there in Crawford. I couldn't, like I said,
I'll have to look it up.
Tyler said on Friday, I couldn't point Crawford out on the map, but they're. I think they're 2-1 on the season. So best start in 25 years.
I will say this: it's probably been a long time at any point that Crawford's had a winning record.
Agree.
And now they have one. Yeah. So there you go.
Congratulations to them. Tecumseh defeats South Spencer. A slow start. Kind of the same story with South Spencer. Just a slow start. You replaced Ty Brown and just have not had the answer yet. 26-7 was the final there. And we'll wrap up our high school segment with the Heritage Hills team that's just rolling through, folks, right now. 63-13 over Princeton, and Jet Goldsberry just keeps it going. 71 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. He ran for 98 yards and 2 touchdowns. You had everybody involved. You had Winchell with 2 touchdowns. Ruxer and Gray each caught one. And then Aiden Fisher led the defense, 8 tackles and a tackle for a loss. So Heritage Hills doing what they're supposed to do. And I saw today, Vic, the 4A rankings came out, and they were number 2 in 4A.
Well, let me guess who number 1 was.
You have a
Chittard?
Chittard, yeah. And if it wasn't for Chittard, Heritage Hills would have like 40 state titles.
Probably so.
Yeah, so, we'll see. And you got a lot. You said a big matchup coming up this way. I didn't look that far into it. Southridge coming up this week?
I think it's Southridge this week, yeah. And I will say, Crawford had lost 34 of their last 35 games, and this is Stroud's second season.
Okay.
They didn't win one last year. They went 0-10. But you're building, baby. You got the momentum. There you go.
In Heritage Hills, it's like you're going to go back to Crawford when we're talking
I'm just
about
saying.
that?
I just want to get that out there. But no, it's I think it's Southridge week.
It's kind of business as usual, right, for Heritage Hills. I mean, early season, get into some of these matchups. I haven't looked through the schedule lately. Is Gibson Southern on there?
Yes, that's on September 26th. You got Southridge, then Washington, then Gibson Southern.
I'm going to make a trip.
I know, it's at Gibson Southern. Might have to make that the 102.7 game of the week.
You should.
I think we're going to. I think we'll reach out and see if we can make that happen.
That week, but I watched a little bit of Gibson Southern again. Saw some highlights on Friday. To me, that's probably going to be their biggest test.
I think so. And can we at least talk, because we tweeted this out, like they put out the stat sheet of the kicker, like rated number 1 in everything across the country. Like Carter Payne, this is where we talk about how much kickers can change in high school football. But this is a guy, like when we went and watched him play.
In high school, did you watch the games yesterday?
Yeah, I was going to say,
it seems like 2 or 3 games yesterday.
Stefanski, come on down to Santa Claus and see if you can sign Carter Payne out of the hallways, because like when he's kicking off, he's trying to kick field goals. Yeah, and then he makes half of them.
Yeah, that cat straight up cost them against the Bengals yesterday.
Well, Falcons too.
Yeah.
I think they cut him today.
Oh, man.
They're looking. I know
he was a good kicker, too.
I know, but he's never had the big leg.
Busy day. But Heritage Hills, I'm trying to get you back on the schedule for some more broadcasts, because I feel like it's going to be a tremendous season. It kind of goes without saying. When we come back, we'll switch gears a little bit, then go over to the college game. Not a whole lot to talk about, but there's obviously a little bit with talking about the Cats and Ole Miss, and a really strong showing from our Kentucky Wesleyan Panthers next, live at 5, 102.7 The Game.
Got a pizza craving? Come on down to Gino's Pizza in Livermore. Proudly owned by Matt and Carrie Huff. Enjoy mouthwatering pizzas made with the freshest ingredients. Come see us at 405 East 7th Street or give us a call, 270-278-5121. Gino's Pizza, your local pizza high spot. Looking for quality tools, building supplies, and equipment for your next project? Visit Miller Building Supply, Seabury Hardware and Rental, or the Providence Home Center. Owned and operated by Opie and Leslie Parrish, they have a friendly staff with great selection and everything you need to make your next home improvement dream a reality.
Your farm is more than land, it's your legacy. Hi, I'm Danette Mattingly with Kentucky Farm Bureau. I have over 20 years of farm insurance experience. I'm proud to represent a company that truly values Kentucky's farmers. Give me a call today at 270-683-1715.
Hey, Owensboro, are you ready to explore your wild side? Check out Wild Things Lingerie on 9th Street. The latest exotic novelties and lingerie that will spice up your love life. Unleash your inner passion. And come see us today at Wild Things Lingerie.
Need electrical services? Call Bailey Electric. Serving Western Kentucky since 2002. We handle commercial, agricultural, and residential needs. With over 50 years of experience, we're licensed, insured, and ready to help. Bailey Electric, your trusted local electricians.
Hey, it's Johnny Calhoun of Calhoun's Barbershop. Come see us at 452 East 18th Street. We're here early, Monday through Friday, 7 to 5:30, Saturday, 7 to noon. And as always, we don't want to be everybody's barber. We just want to be your barber at Calhoun's Barbershop.
Remember what Halloween was like when you were a kid? Ghostly Productions has decorations, animatronic props, and even collectibles, capturing the vibes of vintage Halloween and making it a memorable shopping experience for both you and your kids.
The Hancock County Library is open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. We have activities for all ages. Visit hcplky.org today or call 270-927-6760. Hancock County Public Library, keeping you connected.
Looking for a financial partner you can trust? Look no further than Green River Area Federal Credit Union. Whether you're saving for the future, buying a new home, or need a loan, we've got you covered with competitive rates and personalized service. Join the community that cares about your financial well-being. Visit Green River Area Federal Credit Union at one of our 3 locations in Henderson, Greenville, or Owensboro and experience the difference today. Your money, your future, your credit union. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Local sports at its finest, live at 5 with Stephen A. Turner and Vic Evans on 102.7 The Game.
Live at 5, brought to you by Foreman Watson Holtry, FWHlegal.com. Stephen A. Turner, Vic Evans here in the Floor Concept Studios. And you got the live stream going on X, Facebook Live, YouTube, wherever you want to watch this J.J. McCarthy jersey. I'm hoping I'm not crying in it later.
You may be. You may be. I mean, I
don't know. You never know. I'm a Vikings fan. I'm prepared for everything.
There you go. There you go. Well, the Raven fans are joining you. We'll get to that
the
in
fact that
segment
Randy's 4. Right over your right shoulder. How about that story? Randy Moss getting to ring the bell. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Cancer-free. He's able to get back on. Sunday countdown, which is
awesome.
Good.
That's absolutely completely awesome.
Great stuff, man. And we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll have it for you right here on 102.7 The Game. Vikings at Bears Monday Night Football. Before then, though, let's talk a little college football. We were over at Steel Stadium, and I'm going to tell you, about 3 minutes into the game, I looked at the professor and I said, they need running clocks in college because this is going to be a long day. West Florida comes out. First play of the game, 75
yards,
touchdown, and then they get a botch snap, come right down, touchdown, and
they'd run like 3 plays and it was 14-0 in like 3 minutes.
Yeah, then we get the ball back, sail a pass right into the safety's hands, pick 6, 21-0, but not so fast.
Right,
penalty flag comes out, calls it back, and from that moment forward.
Wesleyan competed
even
tails
with
off.
The number 6 team in the country.
They did. I will tell you what, and I was worried because you're playing so many young guys, especially on the defensive side. Your 2 ends are back, but it's, freshmen at defensive tackle. You got a whole new linebacking crew. A couple of those guys are transfers, a couple transfers in the secondary. And you're like, man, this West Florida team was big. We talked about 4 seniors on the front line. They averaged 325. Competed their tails off.
They did. And the Kentucky Wesleyan defense, to me, was just a popcorn. It's when you're watching a game, you don't necessarily love it when your defense out there because you don't feel like you have the same opportunity to put points on the board. But I just enjoyed watching that group go to work, especially Malik Bowling, Jaden Santos Lopez on the edge.
The 2 guys in the middle, Gage and I'm trying to think, KD Cunningham.
Yeah, Cunningham and Eltridge on the inside.
Eltridge, yes.
And then Forsh's in the secondary, and then at the linebacker spot, and then the secondary I thought played very opportunistic.
Baker played his tail off too.
3 interceptions on the day for the defensive side. Offensive side, little bit to be desired. They really made Harrison Birch run for his life all game. But and you don't. What first thing that stands out to me is we got to figure out the running back spot. And I think the cat from Boyle County, Brown, came in the second half and made some plays. And you don't want to ever start like a true freshman over the upperclassmen. But I mean, it just jumps off the page.
Brown gives you a different gear and the ability to. He reminds me a little bit of Mike, not as strong as Mikey. But if you block it, he can take it to the house. And I think it's one of those things, I could be wrong here, but, you got McRae and Houston. You're playing the number 6 team in the country. Their defense, listen, they won't see a better front 7 than what they saw against West Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, their linebackers.
Find a better one than
their
that.
Linebackers they are big and they are fast. They will flat hit you. And I think it was a little bit of a business decision with the young freshman running back to be like, hey, we're just going to see what these other guys can do first.
And to be fair, I mean, I thought Houston and McRae were fine. I mean, Houston made a couple of really nice catches, and McRae did best with what he could work with.
Yes.
There wasn't many running lanes to run through. Harrison Birch, tough as nails. He took if he had 20 dropbacks, he got hit 18 of them.
I do think after the first quarter, in the second and third quarter, I thought the offensive line played much better. And then late, it was like you knew you couldn't run the ball, and all you had to do was just pin your ears back and go. Yeah. Plus, you were down 21-7, and so you knew they were going to throw the football. So there was no balance. So that front 7, no matter how good your offensive line is, if they're all going to pin their ears back and go, it makes it really tough.
And there's no run game for them to respect.
Exactly.
So you can just get after the quarterback. I thought Wertzler came in relief.
Retire, young man. You're the greatest quarterback in the history of college football.
47 yards?
48-yarder.
Yeah, 48-yard touchdown to Cam Brogan, who I thought Brogan and Ray, names if you followed it. Coach Young has recruited the state and pulled out a lot of great talent. I mentioned Brown from Boyle County, but how about
Perry?
Cam Brogan from Bullitt Central, state champs. On the other side, you had Ray from North Hardin. He was opposite the cat that went to Louisville a couple years ago.
Yes, at North Hardin. And then also DJ Perry, who was the leader. I think he was the leading receiver for Paducah Tillman last year.
Yeah. So, I mean, you got Biggers from Mayfield that's on that roster as well. So I really like what Coach Young's doing inside the state. And, hey, man, these young guys went out there and competed with a team that just beat number 14. They were 14 when they beat them. Lenore Ryan, they beat them 48-21. So that shows you that tells you a little bit about how good that defensive performance was.
Oh yeah, it was tremendous, absolutely tremendous, and and I think this is a big week. Like you got to put that behind you. You go out to William Jewell on Saturday, and that's a game. You look at it that you won 2 years ago. You kind of gave one away last year. If you're gonna get to your ceiling,
away 2 out of the last 3 years.
Yes, if you're gonna get to your ceiling this year in Wesleyan football, that's a game you have to win.
I agree. You should be able to build on what you started on Saturday and take that on the road. And it's going to be tough. It's a tough place to play, but expecting a Panthers victory.
I'll be disappointed.
I will too. After what we saw on Saturday, I would be too. And it's like a lot of Kentucky fans, were disappointed on Saturday. I don't think they were super disappointed, but until they jump out 10-0 and it's like, they kind of spot you the 10-0 lead and then it's back to normal.
Yeah, it's normal stuff. Here's the thing. Here's the difference that you see. So Ole Miss comes out. They go throw 2 interceptions. You're down 10-0. And you know what Lane Kiffin wants to do. He wants to spread the ball, go fast, and throw it all over the place. But you know what? He said, hold on. We've just thrown 2 picks deep in our own territory. What we're going to do, we're going to run some quarterback draws. We're going to run some RPOs. Then we'll take a shot when we get a chance. He made adjustments. You know what we haven't done in 13 years of UK football? Make adjustments. We still are the worst time management team in the history of college football, in the history of football.
That was embarrassing before the end of the half, man.
You used 3 timeouts where you didn't have to. You took a timeout because the play clock was running down so you could walk out and punt.
Yeah.
I mean, just take the 5 yards.
Yeah.
Like the dumbest thing in the history of listen, for the stupid apologists out there, you can no longer apologize. It's terrible. Time management, organization, it's not been changed in 13 years. Whether we get 10 men on the field and get beat by Florida, 10 men on the field at Vanderbilt, let clock run out. Like when they're making fun of you on the national broadcast of how bad it is.
They were.
That tells you all you need to do. And if UK's not going to get fire Stoops, then you're just not serious about football. I don't care what the buyout is. Don't care. Because you know what? I had somebody say, well, you know what? You won't be able to. I said, use the JMI money. Well, you can't get players. Well, you know what? We're getting players now, and we're 2-11 now in our last 13 SEC games at home.
Yeah.
So we're not winning SEC games anyway. Who cares?
I think it would have been better to just get stomped than to show like you can compete, but you don't do the little things well. And just be better to go get stomped because you gave so many Kentucky fans false hope for like 3 quarters, and then you just do what you do and let them down. Then you backdoor cover on top of that, and it's just like Tennessee will have had more wins in the SEC in SEC play at Kroger Field.
Well, the one thing that may help you is Billy Napier in Florida. That may be a home win you can get. But I'll say this too. And the last thing I want to say,
you put Napier back on the hot seat, didn't you?
He's number 1.
Oh man,
well, actually,
it's such a great year.
Him and Brent Pry are 1 and 2 in some order. I want to say the last thing about Kentucky. I want to tell you one thing. Not only is Stoops the worst time management guy in the history of football, I'll tell you one thing he can't scout. And that's quarterbacks. Because the last 3 years, they've gone out and handpicked their quarterback and paid him handsomely, and they all stink.
Yeah, Calzada's not a guy. I mean, Cutter.
How do you watch all summer long and in camp and look at Calzada and go, that's my guy?
I think it's because they invested so much money in him, and they're like, it's kind of a GM decision, right? We can't start the kid over the guy that's making 6 figures. So we got.
Are we trying to win football games?
I mean, did you learn anything else about outside of the Western falling to Toledo? Did you learn anything else? We'll get to the NFL. I want watching games. Did anything stand out?
Shamar Moore. I've always felt like I know he's going to be suspended for the next 2 games. That may actually help Michigan because how you go in and get beat up by Oklahoma, I don't know.
Oklahoma looks like
Venable trying to save his job.
Like they might be competent, right?
Well, I mean,
is he the Billy Napier of this year?
Maybe it may be,
last year?
or maybe they just got a gunslinger.
Billy Napier.
My guess is the quarterback's out there gambling so much he's got to keep winning. Maybe Jerry Jeudy ought to take a page out of his book. I mean, and use Venmo.
I watched a little bit of it. I wasn't completely put to sleep by it. So I mean, it was a decent game, I guess. But the college football week 2 schedule had left a lot to be desired. We'll get much better games coming up this week.
Kind of like what Texas A&M, baby.
All day yesterday. All day from start to finish, man. The NFL Week 1's already in mid-season form.
So are the Ravens. They're in postseason form.
Jim Harbaugh, man. Or John Harbaugh. Listen, that guy finished games, man. I don't know what to say. Last year,
so Zach Taylor too.
Yeah,
if it's not for a kicker.
Oh man, yeah. We'll talk about all that next and get you into the Monday live at 5, 102.7 The Game.
Hi, this is Travis Holtree from Foreman Watson Holtree. You know, we will not allow anyone to deter us from what we are committed to. And we're committed to standing up for people and businesses who find themselves needing a voice because of legal issues. Our attorneys have the resolve it takes to stand up when tested without flinching in the face of adversity. We are Foreman Watson Holtree, and we're dedicated to you, committed to justice. FWHlegal.com.
Get ready to walk, run, or soar to honor our superhero cancer survivors. Owensboro Health Foundation is hosting the Superhero 5K Kids Fun Run and Walk on Saturday, September 27th at the Owensboro Health Park. Dress as your favorite superhero and enjoy food, music, and games, all while supporting patients at Mitchell Memorial Cancer Center. Learn more and register online at owensborohealth.org/superheroes.
At Kubota, we want to help you deliver a job done right. That's why we want you to know that new Kubota inventory is arriving daily. You have work to do. We have the reliable, durable, and versatile lineup to help you do it. Visit Hagen's Outdoor Equipment today for all your equipment needs. Check us out today at Hagen's Outdoor Equipment with 3 locations to serve you. Highway 54 in Philpott, Salem Drive in Owensboro, and Power Machinery on Highway 41 in Hanson. We appreciate your business.
Feel the power of the road beneath you. Rick's Tire and Service can make it possible. Offering comprehensive car care from front-end repair and brake work to air conditioning and diagnostic services. We're more than just tires. Elevate your ride with our range of aftermarket accessories. Get those wheels, tires, level up with lift kits, sleep bumpers, bed covers, and running boards. Even lights, you bet. At Rick's, we customize your vehicle to reflect your style. Rick's Tire and Service, the place where we turn your car from basic to fantastic.
At the B.F. Evans Ford Summer Sales Event and take the summer off with no payments for 90 days. Financing as low as 0% for 48 months and free oil changes for 2 years on all new 2025 Ford F-150, Explorer, and Escape. B.F. Evans Ford Summer Sales Event. Why do you see so many B.F. Evans Ford vehicles in the area? Big discounts, top dollar for your trade, hassle-free buying, and award-winning service at the B.F. Evans Ford in Livermore. Or shop online at bfevansford.com. 0% financing with full credit. Approved credit. Level buyers will qualify.
Southwire in Hallsville has been family-owned since 1950 and strives to be generationally sustainable for years to come. They are one of the leading manufacturers of wire and cable used in the transmission and distribution of electricity. Southwire delivers power to millions of people around the world. Their mission, to be a preferred provider of solutions to the electrical industry by providing innovative products and services with exceptional quality and delivering on our promises. They also are proud supporters of all Hancock County athletics. Go Hornets!
Local sports at its finest, live at 5 with Stephen A. Turner and Vic Evans on 102.7 The Game.
Live at 5, brought to you by Foreman Watson Holtree, FWHlegal.com. Stephen A. Turner, Vic Evans here in the Floor Concept Studios, taking you home. First full fastest hour in football here to kick off the season. One of my favorite shows we do is Mondays.
It is. I love it.
Football. I say that. I mean, it depends on how things are going. Sometimes you just got to eat it, right? I mean, like the Green Bay Packers going in and just absolutely annihilating the Lions yesterday. Hey, I got nothing to say. They look like one of the best teams in football yesterday.
Jordan Love, pretty good quarterback.
I mean, he had a good first half. There was a little bit left to be desired. I'll tell you one thing about Love that I see that I don't like, that I don't love, is anytime he's under pressure, that tendency to throw off the back foot. If he continues to do that, because you know how NFL games are, 99% of the time, I don't care who you're playing, when you enter that fourth quarter, it's a ball game.
And always,
almost all. And so
sometimes it's a ball game when you're down 15 with only 3 minutes to go. Right. I mean, who knows?
I mean, I'm nitpicking Love. I thought, first half, I thought, my God, he's going to make me eat it. He looks great, man. He's slinging it, but it was from clean pockets. And when the game got a little tighter later on, I thought he kind of reverted back to some of the tendencies I worry about. But here's the thing, though. This is why I talked about, I didn't necessarily agree with you saying they were the favorites, but I thought you take the pressure off. You don't make Jordan Love go out there and make all the plays. Number one, you got Jacobs in the running game.
Yeah, he scored a touchdown now in 9 straight games, a franchise record. And you get Parsons, and that defense is really good, and they're going to be able to lean on it.
Yeah, and for Detroit on the other side, they just didn't look right. Did you watch the game?
I watched a little bit of the game.
They didn't look right. Like
I watched, and I'm curious.
They weren't getting in and out of the huddle quickly like you saw with Jack Johnson. There was no tempo.
And I think Campbell addressed that in his post-game press conference. He's, give me 3 or 4 games. Like, the first 4 games that Ben Johnson was here, you guys would have won him fired too. So let's just see. But I worry about that. We talked about that, on Live at 5.
Bigger concern.
I worry about that.
Bigger concern than the coaches is the interior offensive line.
Yes, and they lost a couple pieces of that.
They got a new center back, just Frank Ragnow being gone. That's a big loss.
It is a big loss.
And we'll see. I thought the interior pressure and the inability to run the football, that's the line's bread and butter. The way they ran the football to set up those 3rd and shorts and able to go for it on a lot of those 4th downs just wasn't there yesterday. I just didn't think they could block it very well.
I do, before we get to the next game, how about the catch by the Hillsdale Tesla? I mean, unreal.
Yeah, no, it was a really nice game. He's going to be a player.
He is.
They seem to have gotten a steal there. The other game that stood out to me, obviously, was last night. I almost went to bed.
Well, the Browns-Bengals stood out, too, because once again, Taylor – now they end up winning, but Taylor was outcoached by Stefanski in the defense and all that. Like that's why the Bengals can't win a Super Bowl ever with Joe Burrow because of Zach Taylor. I don't care if they won. There was no reason for that game to be that close.
Well, not only that, but had they fixed their issues up front?
No,
because Burrow was harassed a lot of that game.
Miles Garrett almost killed him.
Maybe you have fixed it up front. Miles Garrett's just that good.
No, you haven't.
But no, it definitely is a little bit of a red flag. I mean, I don't think Bengals fans care today. They've got to win early in the season, which is something they've been seeking for quite some time. We didn't get to talk about it because we haven't been on the air since, but the Chargers take down KC. I mean, are we it's week 1. It's overreaction Monday. Are we buying that the Chiefs really are taking a step back this year?
100%. 100%, and especially because you lose, you got Rice out anyway. Your number 1 guy's hurt now. Like, he hurt his shoulder. Worthy. So I don't know how long he's going to be out. That offense is not as good. Hey, everybody in the West won except one team, and that's the Chiefs.
The West is tough.
It is loaded.
We talked about that when we did our picks. I mean, I know better. I mean, Vegas is going to be so much better with Pete Carroll. I mean, and whether they're going to be a playoff team, I don't know. That division's an absolute gauntlet. I mean, you got Pete Carroll, Sean Payton, and Jim Harbaugh to go along with Andy Reid.
Yeah, it's the best.
Historically, that may be the greatest coached football division in history.
I would say it's pretty darn close.
I mean,
you'd have to go back to
who's going to have a bad year?
You'd have to go back to like Bill Parcells, Joe Gibbs, and Tom Landry in the East.
I mean,
of the NFC East. Now, I don't remember who the Arizona Cardinals coach was.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about all of them.
I know, So yes, and I would not be totally shocked if the Chiefs struggle to make the playoffs.
Man, that's crazy. I would think Mahomes, because even they didn't look that good, Mahomes still almost gave him an opportunity to win.
True, but the problem you're going to have is it's tough to sometimes to get 3 teams in there.
It is,
from one division.
No, it really, because you all beat up on each other, and they're definitely going to be facing a little bit of a tougher schedule. How about Daniel Jones making you look good?
Daniel Jones, hey, listen, I'm telling you, comeback player of the year, coach going to win that division.
They were playing the Dolphins.
I know,
and it looked like a complete disaster.
I will tell you what: the only coach out there that's worse than Mark Stoops is Mike McDaniel. Like, you might as well fire him right now.
Man.
Like, that's an absolute train wreck.
I wish
he's more worried about being a drug kingpin than he is a football coach.
I wish I had the archive of Live at 5 when all those coaches were hired. I think O'Connell was in that group, and McDaniel, and
I love McDaniel.
How he loves McDaniel, and now how everybody's just turned on him. Like, the whole nerd thing isn't as cool when you're just getting smoked every week. They didn't look prepared to play. I think that was the concern. And anytime you run off,
when Tyreek Hill's upset about preparation, that's all I need to know.
Let me tell you how soft the Miami Dolphins players are. All right, first you got Tua out there throwing Brian Flores under the bus because he's too hard on him.
Yes,
whining and crying about it.
Yes.
All right, then you run Vic Fangio out of town because he's too hard on your defense.
Yes.
What did Vic Fangio do? I think he went and won a Super Bowl last year for Philly, right?
Pretty good.
Maybe they know what they're doing, So to me, it just looked like a team that's just soaking it up in South Beach.
I really thought when they hired McDaniel, and you look at him early in his career, what they did that first year with what that offense was, it was unreal. Here's the problem.
Yeah,
Here's the problem with McDaniels. McDaniels reminds me of like the soy boy that's now a head football coach, and he wants everything to be kumbaya. Let's don't be too hard on anybody. I can't yell at you.
Good luck with that.
That's where you are. And then not only that, listen, when Tyreek Hill is your thought of understanding that we're not prepared scared on the sideline.
Yeah, that's true.
That's all you need to know.
That's a red flag.
That's it.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe it's just a week one anomaly. I certainly don't think so. Liam Cohen made a nice debut in that division, too. We talked about how it was open. Stroud and company still looked a little bit off kilter. So, I mean, I
don't think the Texans are making the playoffs.
They may
I think
not.
that South's wide open.
They may not. I mean, I thought Cohen got that's the most organized I've seen the Jags in a while.
Yeah.
So that's something to monitor. And I thought Cam Ward was decent. The Titans played the Broncos pretty well.
Yeah, I thought it was a great performance. I'll tell you another one. And another guy that, along with McDaniels, they might as well go ahead and get rid of Brian Dable. Like, why are you playing Russell Wilson? I've been saying forever.
Well,
he's been for 4 years. He's been cooked. I don't care what he looked like in the preseason. It was awful.
I did see a thing where he requested a meeting with ownership to make sure it's good to go with Dart. I mean, I don't know how true that is. Of course, you see that but it's a pretty reputable New York reporter that reported that. I mean, they're like, oh, we signed Russell Wilson. You're going to play him. And it's like, well, can I not play the quarterback that gives us the best chance to win? I mean,
has anybody watched Russell Wilson play the last 4 years?
Well, he did take the Steelers to the playoffs last year, which, by the way,
hold on. Fields had a lot to. Fields
if
won
I
some
would
games
have told
too.
you that the Steelers and Jets would be a top 3 most entertaining game of the whole sports weekend.
Well, the Steelers with Aaron Rodgers, yes, I could have believed that because Aaron Rodgers was out to prove people wrong. And I think
this game could have been held at Steel Stadium, and I had a free ticket. I don't know that I would have won.
I think Justin Fields was also out to prove people wrong because think about it, he won 3 of those games with the Steelers early. Remember, Wilson was hurt.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Fields is looking like, hey, I'm a much better quarterback. Don't give Russell Wilson the credit for taking him to the playoffs. I had a lot to do with that. I can still play. So, yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, Fields showed well.
He did.
It was a very entertaining game. Buck stole one in Atlanta. That was a barn burner, but it still looked like to me that the South's a step behind, everybody else that's at the top of the NFC. And then the last but certainly not least is the Ravens laying the egg last night up 15 with the ball.
15 with the ball. No, yes.
Yeah,
no,
15 with the ball.
Yeah, then they had to punt,
Yeah,
score.
because they went super conservative. These teams are just like, okay, we're just going to run it straight up the middle for 3 times and punt it back to you. It's like, we don't worry. We took a minute and a half off the clock.
And then you get the fumble.
That's when especially when the fumble was big. The fumble.
Not just that. Hold on. The fourth down pass into the end zone that gets tipped out of nowhere. It ends up in the receiver's hand.
That's true. They had some luck in there too.
But here's the thing. That's Ravens football. You got like Mark Andrews dropping a wide open pass for a touchdown. It cost you a playoff game last year. You get a hand on the ball. He overthrows, I think, the receiver he was actually intending for. He tips it, ends up in another receiver's hands for a touchdown. Then Henry fumbles, who had been rumbling all over you. Like, that's just Ravens football. Yeah. And I had them winning the Super Bowl. I want to change my pick already. There's no way that team's winning the Super Bowl. There's no way.
Talk about the masters of week 1 overreaction. That's it right there. I'm still taking the Ravens in the Super Bowl. I did take the Rams to win. They looked a little shaky offensively, but certainly not least, we're getting ready to turn it over to Beyond the Bench. And then right after that, you'll hear the debut for Mr. J.J. McCarthy as he rolls in to take on the Bears. Vikings are 1.5 point favorites on this one. If you had to put money on it.
I'm not a Caleb Williams guy. Give me the Vikings.
Curious to see tonight how they get after him in that new Vikings defensive front. No Harrison Smith tonight. The Bears are missing some big defenders as well.
No Darisaw tonight too.
No Darisaw. No, and I wouldn't have let Darisaw or I'd be hesitant about J.J. McCarthy tonight. Look at that. Did you see that field? That's embarrassing. It's week 1, Chicago.
It's Chicago, man.
There's divots everywhere. If somebody gets injured tonight, I'm going to be very
upset.
Here's
the problem, man. The Bears have been out there to try to help it with, get the National Guard and doing all the protesting and stuff. So you can't. The field crew's been distracted. So you can't worry. You got to worry about that kind of stuff.
Well, hopefully we can talk about how good JJ looked tomorrow, live at 5. If not, I'll be eating it right here. We'll see you then.
You've been listening to Live at 5 on 102.7 The Game. Special thanks to Foreman Watson Hultree for sponsoring the preceding broadcast. FWHlegal.com. Tune in next time for Live at 5 on 102.